I am a simple man with a simple goal to make $10,000 only doing side hustle. And so far today, I have made $300.08 on this journey. But one thing has been eluding me, and I talk about it in all my videos, and that was to try to make $100 in one day. So this video, I'm going to pull out all the styles. I am not going to leave this car until I make $100 driving for Uber. I want to do this as quickly as possible. The time right now is 2:35 p.m. So I'm going to speed run myself making $100 doing Uber trip. If we haven't met already, my name is Anfernee, and on this channel I talk about investing, side hustles, and personal finance. And if you want to do me a favor, go ahead and tap that like button for your boy, as well as subscribe if you want to see more content like this. My camera almost fell. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get gas. Now, I already talked about taking out the gas expense in my previous video, so I'm not going to be taking that out today because it's already been budgeted for, but I do need to go get gas. Today, I am prepared with a lunchbox and also a book. So I am prepared to stay out here all night if I need to make $100 on Uber. I don't think that it's going to take me all night, but I do want to see how long that it does take me from the time I start to the time I get $100 made. So I'm going to start the timer right now on my phone, and let's see how fast we can speed run $100 only doing Uber trips. You know, one thing about Uber driving that I've been finding particularly useful is that it is one of the more easy ways to make money online. I think as far as startup costs and just honestly making a little bit of money, I think it's way easier than DoorDash. I think it's way easier than Lyft. I don't know, it's just something about it that I am more drawn to when driving for Uber. Also, for my first day experience with driving for Uber, people do tend to tip a little bit more, so we're actually gonna test that out again today. It took me about 10 minutes to drive to this gas station, so it's actually been about 10 minutes since I started the challenge, but I am about to officially go online for Uber as I am done getting gas. So let's see if we can start to make a little bit of money. After our first drop off, we're already at $10.87. It's 3:08 in the afternoon right now. Honestly, if we get a couple more of those, we could get out of here pretty quick. I was actually driving to a busier hotspot when I got that order. And if I can stay a little bit closer to the area where I'm at right now, which is away from all the highways and away from all the smaller orders, I honestly think we could get there a little bit quicker. But I know just from experience that if I try to stay in this less busy area just to get longer orders, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna get one or two that's gonna be like $10 or $11. And then after every one, I'm gonna have to drive the same distance back to this general zone in order to get more orders. So honestly, I'll be making about the same amount of money per hour that I would be if I just stay in a busier, smaller trip zone. So because with the busier zone, I can just drop off in the busy zone and not have to drive anywhere in order to be eligible for another order. So that's what I'm trying to do today. Also, I want to go closer to some more restaurants because the restaurants have been the one where I've been getting the most tips at for Uber. But with $11 so far, we only have $89 to go, and we are 32 minutes and 47 seconds into the challenge. So the last couple I just dropped off was really cool. They were actually visiting Huntsville, Alabama from Canada, and we actually had a really cool conversation. They were talking about how they visited the Space and Rocket Center. I didn't want to record them walking away because I gave them my YouTube channel and I didn't want them to see themselves on my YouTube channel. That was a conscious decision not to record them that time. Other than that, the last trip that we got, that said we made $10 from, we got a $3 tip, which was cool. And every single time I pretty much update you guys on what we're at is going to be a little bit delayed just because of how Uber delays the tip. So right now I see that we're at $22.26, and we actually got a $3 tip from that nice couple, which is awesome. So we're at $25.26. We are a quarter of the way through, and we're only 56 minutes into this challenge. So if it keeps up at this rate, I'm going to keep doing Uber X's. I did decline 2 Uber Eats orders. They were like $6 for 30-45 minutes. I really just didn't see the point of doing that when, you know, I've been making a lot more doing Uber X trip. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. If I get a good Uber Eats order, I may take it over $10, but for right now, we're making good progress.
A few minutes later.
I kid you not, I think my eyes are red from the last person I dropped off. Smelled so strongly of Mary Jane. Gosh, I'm almost fearful that my next passenger is gonna smell it. I just rode around with my windows down for like 5 minutes, and I have some black ice car spray. That's probably one of the worst experiences I've had while driving for Uber. I don't want to seem like a, you know, I don't want to say anything too bad, but it just seems incredibly inconsiderate to be smelling that strongly of Mary Jane getting in somebody else's car. I haven't really been recording my drop off. I need to get a second camera so I can just record it easier. I've been looking at my delivery trips after I get done. If I thought that the food smells were bad, it has nothing on that. I'm about to roll my windows down and ride for another 5 minutes before I get to this next Uber X trip, because I can kind of get like a residual smell. I don't know if it's just me or if I'm smelling it, but man, that was strong. All right, so we have hit the 2-hour mark of this speed run. It has been 2 hours and 10 minutes. As of right now, what I see on my screen is that we are at $45.38. Given that timeline, I'm not sure if I got any pending tips. Actually, let me see. I just got a $7 McDonald's order, and I may take it. So I just accepted another McDonald's delivery for $7. With those, you kind of hope that you get a tip. So it's $7. If I get a $3 tip, that would be a $10 delivery. We'll see how that one works out. I'll be over $50 after I complete this delivery. With that math, it should take us about 5 hours to make $100 gross. After all expenses and everything, I know it'll be a lot less than $25 an hour, but let's see if we can actually get that done. So with that being said, it's 4:49 in the afternoon right now. If we stay out here for another 3 hours, then we'll be getting done around 8 o'clock. So that may be our goal, to get done around 8. The goal of this speed run is see if we can do it as quickly as possible. The thing right now is that I've only done one Uber delivery trip, Uber Eats trip. Those are some of the hardest ones that I found to figure out if they're good or not. If it goes to an apartment complex, it's not gonna be good because it's gonna take you a long time to find an apartment. And I also found out that picking up Uber X from college dorms is also a headache. You just gotta really learn how to pick and choose these things in order to be the most efficient with your time. If I would have stayed at the area I was at the beginning of this video, it would have been a lot simpler. There's not as many turns and things to get confused with. But I mean, I'm making good progress so far. I'm almost at $50 and it's only been a couple hours since I started, 2 hours exactly. So keep it going. All right, I'm gonna be honest. At this point in the video, I was going along pretty well. I was making deliveries. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing recording. And at some point while I was recording these clips, I pressed the slow-mo button on my camera. Unfortunately, all of the talking clips for the rest of the video is going to be in slow motion and the audio is not there. Anybody can press record. All you have to do is press record. Stop being so dumb. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Hear me out. Just pretend that I made some of the funniest jokes that you ever heard, because I actually did. I had a lot of really, really good jokes going into these clips, but unfortunately your ears weren't just worthy enough at the time to hear them. Maybe the next video, if you stick around and subscribe to the channel, you actually hear some of the amazing, juicy, and delirious jokes that I made at this point in the video. But to give you a quick recap, I did end up doing a lot more deliveries. I got stopped in traffic one time that I talked about for about 5 minutes, so it's probably good that you didn't hear that part. I actually almost witnessed a crash. I didn't actually see the crash happen, but I saw the immediate aftermath of a crash. It was a rear end collision on a hill type situation. What I was doing is that I was driving away from the collision to try to get on the other side of the town, because I was on the opposite side of the highway after it happened, and I saw cars lined up for a mile and a half going way back trying to get away from the collision. Unfortunately, as I was driving away from the other side of town, I got an order and I didn't realize that it was taking me on that same highway through the crash back up through the traffic. Honestly, I would have canceled the order, but I ended up getting 2 queue orders for about $25 total, and I thought that was too much money to pass up for the speed run. I ended up taking an order, and I ended up actually taking a shortcut after waiting in the traffic for 10 minutes to kind of go around the traffic on a side road. And then also what I didn't pay attention to after that was that I was so close to the next state over that I ended up finishing the rest of the challenge in the next state. It was kind of confusing because when I looked at my maps, I was in the state of Tennessee, and when you live in one state and you suddenly find yourself in another state, it's a little bit disoriented at times. But I should have known, because as soon as I crossed the border, I saw a big state lottery sign, and the state of Alabama doesn't have a lottery, and that was a big giveaway. I probably will put a little bit of voiceover over the rest of the video and pretend I'm making some really good and engaging commentary, and make sure you hit the like button, because I almost scrapped this whole video because of that, but I was like, why not? I think that this still is a video worthy enough of being viewed. So as I was going through the footage last night preparing to edit this video for today, I realized that I recorded the whole second half of the video in slow motions. That's a little bit unfortunate, but I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a recap of what happened. The second half of the video, I ended up getting stuck in traffic a little bit. I will put some B-roll on the screen of exactly what happened, but there was an accident that happened on the road, and it ended up taking one of the deliveries over an hour to get there. So I had one of the queue deliveries. One of them for about $13, one of them for about $12, but overall both of them took over an hour to do. That delayed my afternoon a little bit. So I live in North Alabama, and ultimately what ended up happening was that I was just accepting so many orders, not paying attention to where the orders were taking me, that somehow I ended up in Fayetteville, Tennessee for 2 of my trips, which is like an hour away from my house. And honestly, before I realized, I had already gotten so close to my end goal that I just finished the rest of the challenge in 10 Tennessee. At the end of the day, what I did was I waited until I got home to stop the stopwatch, because I started the challenge as soon as I left the house when I got gas. So I wanted to end it exactly when I got home. I ended up making $125.17 or around that mark yesterday, and it took me 6 hours to do. Now I am going to break down a little bit when I edit this video. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that right now because I already did the math. Let me pull up my Google Sheet spreadsheet and I'll just do it in the car right now just because it'll be a little bit easier for me. So yesterday on Uber, I ended up making $126.78. Now, I did not stop to get gas, which I usually don't do, but I am going to put aside $15 for gas or expenses in this video. And then I'm also going to put aside 15% of my earnings for taxes. As I said, I am not a licensed CPA. I don't know how much I should be putting aside. I know 20% is a little bit high, so that's why I started putting aside 15% for taxes, which is going to be $19.02. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put aside $12.68 aside for maintenance, which is 15% of my gross earnings. So out of all of that yesterday, in about 6 hours worth of earning, we made $80.09, which added to our running side hustle Saturday total puts us at $380.17. So this Uber speed run was honestly pretty fun. I actually had a lot of fun doing it. I didn't like how far I actually got away from home, but it gives me a lot of confidence that I can actually do a $250 speed run in the future sometime. That may be coming. $250 Uber speed run, $500 Uber speed run, maybe even a $1,000 Uber speed run where I can try to make $1,000 in 1 week. That'll be a pretty cool video if I have some time away from my actual job that I can do that. Honestly, I think that is very possible, given that I made $125 only doing it for about 3 hours, or well, 6 hours. I'm not gonna say 3 hours, obviously it was 6 hours. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see that. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed that the second half of the video got recorded in slow motion. I was just kind of doing everything and I pressed a setting on the camera without realizing it, so as I was recording my voiceovers, it was all going in slow motion. You live and you learn. So if you found any kind of value in this video, make sure you tap that like button for your boy. And if you want to see more Side Hustle Saturday videos, are my lips ashy? Not really. If you want to see more Side Hustle Saturday videos, then subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.